There's a lot of people who care about these macro issues in the world, but they don't care about micro issues. Like, they care about issues that they can't control, really. They're worried about big issues, but they're not worried about, like, making themselves a better person. So why I don't watch the news? There's a few reasons, man. I remember, man, we gonna go all the way back to March 2020. That's when the pandemic hit. I was paranoid and I was like, bro, I'm scared for my life. I thought it was gonna be like the movies. I remember I saw the movie Contagion and I was like, yep, it's gonna be just like that. With Matt Damon. I was scared, like, either I'm gonna starve to death or I'm gonna get infected and die. That's how I was thinking about the whole, I ain't gonna say it, but the news was crazy at that time, man. And even on Twitter, like, I had to delete Twitter. That was the first time I ever deleted social media for like a mental health reason, right? Or for any real reason, honestly. And I was super anxious because news media, they're gonna program you to think that everything is like the end of the world. If you see it enough, it's going to program your mind into thinking like, bro, this is it. This is it. These your last days. And I was really feeling like that. I'm like, bro, I'm about to die soon. Probably everybody about to die. It's gonna be like the Black Plague. So I might as well do something fun. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna go all out. I ain't go all out. But I had that mindset. I really felt like the world was gonna end because that's what the media was portraying, and I was consuming so much of it. I remember I read this article. I'm gonna put the link in the description so y'all can see. But basically, I was reading about it, and they were talking about how people who consume news media, they were showing PTSD like symptoms. Sometimes they would even show worse symptoms than people who are actual first responders. You feel me? And I'm like, bro, if that's what the media can do to you, like consuming news media, it can give you the same symptoms that people who were actually in the situation would get, then I'm like, I don't want it. I need to stay away from it because I already got uh, enough mental issues. So, that's why I'm really careful about everything that I give my energy to. Like, I don't even like to hear Meg Thee Stallion in the back of, like, just playing in the background, bro. Like, I'm gonna turn it off because I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear this weak trash. You feel me? If you like Meg Thee Stallion, hey, bro, it's on you. But I be careful about things I even hear in the background because I'm like, that can play to my subconscious. That's why people listen to affirmations as they go to sleep because it gets ingrained in your subconscious. You're not even actively paying attention to what you're listening to, but you're still getting programmed by it because it's still there. So I'm like, bro, I need to get away from the news as much as possible because the thing is, news media, news programs are never going to run out of business because there's always going to be a problem. Always. There's going to be a million and one problems to talk about. You'll never run out of problems. It's always a problem everywhere. Everybody got a problem. Every country got a problem all the time. Every city, state, whatever. It's so many, and news is never going to run out of business because of that. And they never tell you good things. The only good things they'll tell you is like, oh, we went down in the cases of this virus or whatever. But it's like, oh, oh, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still bad. That's not what I want to program my mind with. So I try to stay away from the news as much as possible. It's a double-edged sword. There's pros and cons to everything. Just like pros and cons for me to delete social media altogether. There's a lot of things that I won't know about, but at the same time, I feel like ignorance is bliss sometimes. So there's some things that that might be going on in the world, and I don't know about it. And some people try to shame me like, hey, Ty, you really need to know what's going on. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but at the same time, bro, I know what it's done to me. I was the one who knew about the problems in the world before everybody else. Like, I'll be on Twitter 24/7. I'll be researching news and issues going on in the world, and I'll be like, bro, why don't you care about this issue that's going on in blah, blah, blah country or blah, blah, blah city? I will be one of those people. But it's like, you can't be happy like that. You can't have a peace of mind thinking like that and having all these things on your mind because everybody as an individual already has enough problems. Why would you want to add extra problems onto that? I remember somebody commented under one of my videos and they were asking me about some social injustice issues and if I had anything to speak on it. Like, if I had any perspective, if I wanted to talk about it, basically, right? And I was glad that they asked the question, but it made me think about it. I had to think about it for like a whole day. You know, because sometimes I feel bad that I don't have something to say about certain issues that go on in the world. Like, dang, people are really dying. There's kids dying in this country. There's people getting harmed and dying in this place. There's police issues over here, you know. And I really had to think about, like, I'm not trying to be selfish, but at the same time, the thing is, I probably will never talk about anything that's going on in the news unless I feel like I can really bring something like a different perspective, because there's enough of that. You can go on the news, you can go on CNN, ABC, NBC, whatever. You can go wherever and you can find out whatever they want you to know in the media. I feel like sometimes it's enough, man. Sometimes people want to escape that. And I know what it was for me, like when the pandemic first hit. It was like I couldn't escape. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't avoid it. And I knew that was a real problem. I was already dealing with it though. I had enough issues in my head, and then I couldn't go anywhere. I had to literally delete social media because of that, simply because of that, because I couldn't go anywhere without seeing everything was, I'm not going to say it, but the virus everywhere. And for me, like, I don't want to add any more stress onto people. Most of the time, I don't like to speak on things if I don't have a solution to it, or anything to add to the conversation. you know and also, I remember remember when the Black Lives Matter stuff was happening about a year ago, last year summer. Everybody was like, oh, you gotta post this black screen on your Instagram, or you gotta type Black Lives Matters on your social media page, right? And then if you didn't, people would be like, oh, you're racist or whatever, right? And that's how I was thinking at the time. But over time, I realized, like, bro, we can't expect for other people to care about our problems as much as we do. I can't expect for someone to care about my issues that I'm going through. Even though I may want certain people to, I can't expect them to, because we all have our own problems at the end of the day. And everybody has some validity to their problems, to their issues. I don't think that we should shame certain people for not wanting to talk about certain issues going on in the world. Try to peer pressure them into doing it, into caring about something, because like I said, there's too many damn problems in this world. There's always something going on. There's always, like, people could be like, oh, you don't care about kids dying in Israel right now, and then there's kids dying everywhere, bro. You go to Venezuela, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of third world countries in this world, bro, and there's a lot of kids dying. That's just the way it is, bro. It's sad to say it like that, and it sounds insensitive, but not saying that I don't care about them, or I'm not going to fight for certain issues, but I'm not going to fight for all issues, because I can't solve. I'm just one person, and I can't put that burden on myself. I remember Jordan Peterson was talking about, he was talking about cleaning your room, right? And I remember there was this girl who asked him in the audience. She was like, why don't you care about global warming or whatever? And then he was saying there's a lot of people who care about these macro issues in the world, but they don't care about micro issues. Like, they care about issues that they can't control, really. They're worried about big issues, but they're not worried about, like, making themselves a better person. So I feel like if everybody worries about themselves first, fixing themselves, then we can work towards the macro issues. But we gotta start on the micro level first. You can't jump straight to the top. But also, I'm not the best person. I'm not the most equipped person to talk about most of these issues that go on in the world, bro. These issues are too complex for me. I don't have solutions to most of these problems. I'm still trying to figure out solutions to my own life. I'm trying to figure out my next step in life. So how am I going to solve these grand issues that go on for centuries, for years? And most of the time, I don't have anything to add to the conversation, so I'm probably not going to talk about it. And I don't want to add any more stress onto other people. Like, sometimes it's hard to escape certain issues that you see all in your face. And yeah, man, I try to come on here and give you guys solutions to things I've went through. I might talk about a problem that I went through, but I'm gonna give you guys a solution, or at least what I'm doing to try to fix it. And I don't like picking and choosing which problems I feel like are more valid to speak about than others. It kind of reminds me, like, as kids, kids always make everything a competition. Like, oh, my dad does this, oh, my dad does this, oh, my dad does this. Like, when they're talking about career paths that their parents are in or whatever. Kids do the same thing with problems. Like, oh, I remember I had a cold when I was 3 years old. Oh, I got the flu when I was 2. Oh, I died when I was 1. Like, you know, like they try to one up everybody, and sometimes I feel like that's how people are when it comes to these complex issues. Like, oh, you're not talking about this happening in this country, but this is happening in this country. You need to talk about this, you know. And for me, I'm like, bro, it's a lot of problems. It's a lot of real problems in this world. I don't know if I want to talk about it or address it. If I don't have any, if I don't have any solutions. That's just me. That's just how I operate. If you don't like it, man, that's cool. I understand, but that's my perspective on it, and it's a mental health stability thing more than anything for me. So yeah, that's what I got for this video. That's about it, man. Peace. Hate when the flies or the mosquitoes be rubbing their hands together like Birdman. Like, ooh, I'm about to get him. This is like one of the first videos I wore in a collar, you know. If y'all wondering, I got this from Goodwill. This was probably like this old deceased man's shirt or something, you feel me? I had to wash it a few times, get all the old people's spirits out of it. It was smelling like mung beans and prune juice when I got it. But it's clean, I ain't gonna lie to you.